Zoom controls for directed toward meeting participants, webinar participants. Zoom host controls will be slightly more complicated. There'll be more options. But this is basically what you'll see when you join a Zoom meeting. Ignoring this window here, which is my Skype controls, here we have the Zoom window. You can go into full screen or not use controls. And you have on the top, on the bottom here, you have the webinar controls, the meeting controls, where you can mute yourself. This is your own microphone. If you don't want anybody to hear you, tap that button. You can turn on and off your own webcam video. You can invite other people, which is probably unnecessary. You can see who's in the meeting. You can see, you can share your screen if people are needing to see something or you need to show them something on your computer. You can chat with other participants in the meeting. And hosts also have this recording feature. The center main screen here, this is what everybody will see in the meeting. This is what everybody, this is either the presentation that is being shared or people's webcams who are talking. Up top, you have some controls for how to see the different thumbnails for people sharing their webcams. These controls here for the host allow you to mute or unmute any of the participants if, for example, you're getting feedback through their microphones. And even some other things about who gets to actually show on screen. Again, that's a host control. So the very simple meeting interface for people who ever want to see. If you're having trouble with your microphone, skip that for a second, let's go back to chat. There's one thing that you'll see if you ever need to communicate kind of off the record or outside of the actual verbal conversation that's being held. People are speaking. You can come to this window and talk with people. You can send messages privately or to the group, and it will show up as a notification on whomever the message is addressed to. Would someone please send me a message so that the notification will show up on my screen?
Just to you?
To me in any form. It doesn't matter if it's everybody or private.
I just privately sent you.
So here's this notification. The chat button turned orange and it popped up on my screen. I can see even what was said. Clicking on the chat will bring it up so that I can see that Marshall and Seppi are both speaking to me personally.
And now I just said hello to everyone.
And then differently, we see that the audience comment was addressed to everyone. So the interface is pretty simple. The difficulty will be whether or not you can actually hear or see people and whether they can see and hear you. Next to the microphone, there will be a few options here to choose which microphone that's connected to your computer is going to be used for Skype. Most of the time, there will be one option, and it'll be the built-in microphone.
You said Skype. Did you mean Zoom?
I did say Skype, and I do mean Zoom.
Okay.
You can see that there's one option here. It's the built-in microphone, or a system default, which allows the operating system to choose what it thinks is best. If you're having difficulty, you can choose between the two. If you're expecting a particular microphone that you don't see, then that's a separate issue that will need to be diagnosed outside of Zoom. Zoom will show you what it can detect, and basically what it can detect are what Windows or the Mac OS can detect.
Excuse me.
Same for speakers. Most computers will have one specific option. Sometimes there will be like a Bluetooth speaker in the area or some other output. You can choose, like headphones. You can choose between them if you wish. To test your connectivity, whether people can actually see and hear you, you can push this button to bring up a small interface that brings up a test tone program for you. All it's doing is showing that it is actually playing an audio that I can hear out of my computer speakers. Now, if I show the microphone, it's actually able to detect that I am speaking using the same input level measurement, and gives me the option to choose any of my other microphones that I might want to test with. Either way, both of these microphones work, and so I'm going to just finish. Webcams have a similar test or place where you can choose which camera of several, if there are any more than one on your computer, and other controls that determine how your webcam appears or is used by Zoom. You can send HD video. You can, I'm not actually sure what this does, probably shows myself in my thumbnail bar on top. Oh, it swaps it, so it looks whether or not it's a mirrored view or a direct view. Right hand, left hand. Left hand appears like a mirror. So I look like I would look as if you were looking at me across a table. But the most important thing here is the camera setting. If you're having any difficulty getting your camera to appear here, you'll need to do some other troubleshooting with your device. Once the device is actually detected, it should show up here, and you'll be able to turn it on and off using this control. And that's all that I really want to go over for participants. Are there any questions?
Were you able to hear me clearly on Zoom? I'm on my laptop. I just wanted to make sure without a headset or anything that there was clear volume when we were on Zoom before.
Yes.
Okay.
You sound basically as you do now here through Skype.
Okay.
I think my main question is that it sounded like we were being asked to know how to run this, like in case something was wrong on your end, Darren. Is that right? In case we need to do more of a host function. The main things I wanted to get to know were what you showed us and how to mute and allow people's video and video and audio for other people. So will we be co-hosts, or will you just be hosting and we'll have that skill in case something happens and you can't be on the call or on the webinar or something?
I'm planning to do host training after we finish participant training.
I see. Got it. So this is participant training, and we're continuing with host training another time, or today as well?
Today.
Okay. Got it.
This is just to get everybody who needs to be able to use the software able to get in and see what they're capable of and where problems might arise.
And will we all be co-hosting, or will you just be hosting and we
Let's
will be...
talk about that separately. Let's focus on just participants and perhaps the panelists for now. Basically, this is also for them because they will need to appear on screen. They're going to need to have their camera, their microphone, both working.
But you're in regular Zoom. You're not in the webinar version, are you? Or is it the same?
That is correct. There are small differences, and I'll show them once we get down to host training.
Okay.
Participant training, the participants will see basically the same thing, whether it's a meeting or a webinar.
So at the end of all of this, Darren, can we go back to Zoom and not having to look at your screen and then just test out camera, or test out our own facility with the functions?
Sure. Let's do that now, and let's continue.
The host training doesn't need to happen on Skype.
It does, but
okay.
let's get. Well, it seems like you already have microphone and your speaker and your webcam set up.
Great.
We can go through that through Zoom if you find that helpful.
No, I just wanted to look at the Zoom screen while we're talking to make sure that, okay, there's my, I know where my mute and unmute was, but I wanted to check the camera thing you were talking about, this mirrored thing. Do we need to play with that at all?
It's entirely up to you.
Okay.
There's no need to change it from mirrored to be otherwise.
Okay, yeah. No worries.
I think, Marcel, I mean, I know if you're going to be on camera, but the if you have a headset, it's always better.
Yeah, Yeah. I'll find. Yeah, this is a new laptop, so I'm just looking for my my
It's
headset plug.
I mean, a lot like Vanessa and Ben haven't been using headset, and it's been fine. But when I was using Zoom for events, I was kind of going in and out. I wasn't using this computer; I was using a newer one.
I don't
And
know.
so I use a headset now, and then I don't have any problems.
Can I use my phone headset, my Apple, or no?
Yeah, yeah.
Should be fine.
On a Surface? Let me just check this out.
I think that's what Darren's using right now, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm on a Mac.
Right, but you have a headset on, right?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me now, and
Yep,
Sepia
no problem.
Tim. See if I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
I can hear you, Sepia. Are you there, Tim?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions about Zoom and its interface? All right, I'm going to end this recording and move on to host training.